Hey guys, it's Jessica here, and for today's video, we are making these delicious vegan crunchy chicken sandwiches. Look how delicious that looks. And by the way, guys, I have a new Instagram for all of my vegan recipes and the journey to veganism. So if you're not following me and you are interested in this type of content, feel free to follow me over there. We're going to hop right in. I am dissolving one chicken, not chicken, it's like a vegan chicken broth bouillon in 1 cup of water with just like a 1 drop of liquid smoke. And we are just going to put that like on a low simmer and set that aside, because now we are moving on to opening our cans of jackfruit. I have 2 cans, and by the way, I will have the recipe that I followed listed below. But right now we are into the jackfruit, and we're going to go through that can. And if you have never used jackfruit before, once you get your hands on it, a lot of this is going to make sense. But just by looking, you might be like, how am I supposed to separate everything here that needs to be separated? But it's so much easier when you're actually doing it. So you are going to be separating the seeds from the actual fruit. And the fruit honestly has a texture of a shredded like chicken. And so we are also wanting to squeeze out as much liquid as we can. And it's really, really important to squeeze that liquid out. So I kind of go back and forth between squeezing it as hard as I can in my fist, and sometimes I'll use a paper towel and kind of blot it, just to do the best job at getting all of the liquid out, and then also getting all of those seeds out. The seeds are just like these little hard pieces. They feel a lot different than the actual fruit, so it's really easy to feel them. You can see right here, it almost looks like some type of a nut, like what is that? I don't know, I can't think of the name. But anyways, so you just want to make sure to get all of those seeds out. You do not want to eat one of those, but it is really normal to accidentally skip a few. And when we start cooking the jackfruit, you'll have a few more chances to get those pieces out, and you know, it's not a big deal. So I'm going to speed this part up because we're going to be doing this for a while. This took me quite a while, honestly, to go through 2 cans. But yeah, you want to make sure to just continue this on. Remember that we have our liquid simmering on the side, waiting for this jackfruit. Then when I felt that I was all done, I took another dry paper towel and just kind of blotted over that entire bowl. See, I already found some seeds that I had missed, and you probably will too. And then I'm just going to set those all to the side. And then once I feel like I'm ready to go, we are going to take this bowl of jackfruit and toss it into our simmering liquids. I'm using some nutritional yeast, garlic salt, onion powder, basil, and I forget what the other spice was, but I put those all into the water. And again, those measurements will be down below, but I really honestly just eyeballed it and probably did about a tablespoon of each. We want this liquid to have a lot of flavor. This is what is going to flavor our jackfruit, which is essentially going to be our chicken. So now we are going to go ahead and just put all of our jackfruit into the liquid, and for a 3rd time, I'm going through and feeling everything that I'm putting in, because again, I don't want any seeds to get in. And then you want to let this simmer until all of the liquid comes out. And for me, I probably left it on for honestly about 30 minutes while I was taking care of the other things. So you're just going to keep that on a low simmer. Then it's time to get our breading components ready. So I'm taking 1 can of garbanzo beans, and I take the liquid out. I only want the liquid, so I put the garbanzo beans in a Tupperware in the fridge for later use. Then I'm going to use about 3 cups of flour. We're keeping that garbanzo liquid set to the side. But for the flour mixture, so 3 cups of flour, some breadcrumbs, and a crap ton of spices. So all of these spices, I probably put about, honestly, 2 tablespoons of each one in my flour mixture. This is going to be what is going to bread our chicken. Now that garbanzo bean liquid, why can't I think of the name of it? That's going to essentially work as our egg. So now we're also going to take about 2 tablespoons of tapioca starch in a separate bowl, and I'm mixing that with about 2 tablespoons of tofu. I set that aside as well. That's going to be something that I'm using it to thickening up our jackfruit. Now in another bowl, we're taking about a cup of oat milk to a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. Set that aside. Now I'm just checking on my little mixture here. But after about 10 minutes, you're going to have what is kind of like a buttermilk mixture with that oat milk and apple cider vinegar. Now I'm going to go ahead and whip up that liquid from the garbanzo beans, and I'm adding in the buttermilk mixture with the egg or the garbanzo bean liquid mixture. You want to go ahead and really, really whip that up good, get it pretty frothy. It really does have like an egg type consistency. Now this tapioca starch and tofu mixture is going to get mixed in with our jackfruit. I should have mixed this up a little bit better, but it's fine. It really kind of acts as a binder, and it really kind of seemed like it kind of made it more of a fatty type consistency when it was all said and done. So I still have my oven on low, or my stovetop on low, and I'm just mixing all of this up together. You want to mix it really, really good so that everything's, you know, mixed, incorporated really, really evenly. So I added a little bit at a time because I wanted to make sure I wasn't using too much. So that's done. We set that aside, and now it's time to get things rolling. We're going to take our spring roll wrapper and place it in some warm water. You want to wait till it's a really nice, thin, flexible type consistency. And this is what's going to be used as essentially the fat to our chicken burger. Or actually, sorry, not fat, more like our skin. It definitely acted like a skin, and I would not skip this part. But, you know, you can do you. You can experiment and see what you think works good for you. So once that is rehydrated with the water, we're going to place it down and flatten it up. I tore this first one a little bit, but it wasn't a big deal. You're going to flatten it down on your surface. And then I honestly just took about a handful of our jackfruit / chicken mixture. We're going to place that right in the middle of the wrapper here, and we're going to just fold all of the sides around it, and you want them all to meet in the middle. So our chicken burger is going to be completely wrapped up, and so that you want to keep that in mind when you're deciding how much to put in each burger. Once that is all wrapped up, you can set it aside and move along. With this recipe, I made, I think, 4 chicken burgers, I'm pretty sure. So depending on if you want more or less, you know, you can tailor the recipe to that. So I really kind of I kind of molded this into a patty shape. Now you can see that there are some of those white pieces from that tofu tapioca starch mixture, and I could have probably mixed it up a little bit better, but like I said, once it was all cooked and everything, you didn't taste like white chunks or anything like that, or it all kind of melted together. Okay, so that's what those patties look like. We're going to just set them aside on a plate. And then once you are all done molding your burger patties, we're going to go ahead and actually put them in the freezer for, I think I did about 30 minutes. This is a really nice step to do before you're deep frying anything. And again, this is something that I wouldn't skip again. So again, those go in the freezer for about 30 minutes, and then I prepped for the deep frying. I honestly don't remember how much oil I used, but I would say I filled this pan 2/3 of the way with oil. So once I bring the burgers out of the freezer, I'm going to start breading them. And I dip them first into the liquid mixture and then into the flour mixture. And then we're going to go back and forth a couple times till we're happy with this. Now, you don't want to get too much breading to where it's just going to fall right off. But I found that I think I did 2 times for each of the burgers. So make sure that everything is nice and coated evenly. And then what I want to do next is set those aside, and I set those aside to actually rest for a little bit. The recipe that I was following mentioned that by doing that, it's really going to help all of that breading actually adhere to your burger so that, again, when you're deep frying it, it's not going to come off. And honestly, I was so happy with the breading that I will definitely make sure to continue that step where you do let them sit for about 10 or 15 minutes after you bread them. So you can see I'm just going back and forth. Now I did this really messily and it was all over my hands, but you know, you can do it neater if you are wanting to. So here we go. The burger patties, they sat for about 15 minutes. And when the oil is ready, I got it up to about 450. Then we are going to start deep frying, but I had to let mine sit for a little bit to heat up. So in the meantime, I got my burger buns buttered up and all of the sides ready, and I got these nice and toasty brown. But now we are, sorry, I think I said 450, didn't I? 375 is what we need. So I got those all toasted. So when you get up to 375, you can go ahead and drop your burger patties in. I let those cook for about 3 minutes on each side, and then I flip them over and they are nice and golden brown. So I would say I cooked each one for about 8 minutes, something like that. I just kind of play it by ear. I just kind of, you know, waited and saw when it was ready, when it was nice and golden brown. You can bring those out now and set them on a wire rack. These turned out so delicious, you guys. I have a really picky 8-year-old son. He's probably ate a peanut butter and jelly every day for like the last 4 years, because that's like what he likes. He loved this, and I seriously couldn't be more excited. So for the burger, you can top them off whatever toppings you like. We just did some vegan mayo and some pickles, and look how good that looks. That looks like chicken, right? I'm shook. This tastes like chicken. So this is the pickiest eater in the family, and he's trying this, and what do you think?
It's very good.
Well, I hope that you guys enjoyed me trying out this recipe and showing you how I made it. Leave me a comment below. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.